All right, we're back. Had a little debacle too while we were separated. Knocked me offline. Um, I don't think that Lucid's IPO is going to affect any other company. You know what you're seeing is just the market getting flooded now, and I mean we saw that with the tech bubble, the .com craze. You get loads of companies who jump into a market, and the strong survive. So, I mean, these guys are first going into production this year on automobile, but they have energy storage. But the business model kind of looks like Tesla. I think we already have that void filled. So the interesting thing about new markets and new sectors is picking out which company's going to survive and which ones are going to disappear. Nah, they're not really a one-horse race, Tesla. I mean, you got Ford coming into the market, you got General Motors coming into the market, you got Volkswagen coming into the market. Um, you know, the market's about to get flooded. And, I mean, if you're going to bet on who's going to be there in the end, I'd go with the Titans. And I think Lucid is a luxury car, you know, and you know what? I think Porsche is looking to get into the market too. I think I had read that these guys are getting aggressive in that, and yeah, you know, Porsche being a nice hot rod, did really well moving into the SUV market. So I think they'll do well as a luxury EV. Woo, it's getting hot again, ladies and gentlemen. Hot, hot, hot. Oh, do they really have it out already? Yeah, Porsche's a sharp company. Yep, and those are some Titans, man. I mean, those Germans, boy, they put together quite a vehicle. The Swedes too. I'm a big fan of Volvo. So the markets are mixed. The Russell and the S&P are up, but the composite is down. Dow's up. Everything's kind of up slightly. You know, just in this trend, this channel. You know, range bound kind of day, not really trending anywhere. You know, I'm sitting on my hands today because of the report tomorrow. Wonder what bonds are doing today. Bonds are down a little bit. No big deal. So what's the topic of the afternoon? Just nothing to trade. Nothing to trade. We just need to gab and gossip. It's hard to get back in the swing after lunch. See, that's why when I worked for a living, I would never take lunch because I just get out of the mood, out of the vibe. I just rather go home. So I just used to work straight through. So now we took that little break, checked my pots to no avail, and now I got to get back in the vibe. Thought we had our 30-minute range in. Oh yeah, we did. Oh man, we just bounced around the top of that 30-minute range, and it's only 10 points. And look how small a range we're just trading in. Yeah, they canceled due to lack of interest. Down. AMC offering us any delight? Not so much. I really would like to dig into that AMC story though, because I heard 9 million dilution and then 27 million share dilution, and now I'm reading a 44 million, which I know is old news, but Now I'm wondering if the 27 is part of the 44 or if the 44 is on top of the 27. Actually, I'll probably find something more interesting to get involved with and not even look at it. Oh, look, we called that one this morning. See if it comes down and touches that 65 mark. So what do you got? Any questions? Any stories? I'll take some gossip. Anybody have an amusing anecdote to share? Anybody frighten your neighbor's children? Or is that just me? Oh, I thought it was going to be cooler today. Wow, it's even going to be warm into the evening. Woo. Tomorrow cools off a bit, though. Oh, look. We got some AMC day trade opportunity. Also SPY breakout. Huh? Nah, I'm not seeing it. On the 60-minute, I see a little break of that pennant, but I mean, not a very big move. I'm suspecting it's going to get congested here. I mean, there's a lot of support and resistance when you're in a consolidation pattern like this. So it's not really a trade for me. Yeah, I don't see anything I would take in AMC. But again, there's no one way to trade. I mean, you can't even call it double top because you got nothing to confirm it. It's just, yeah, you know, choppy and consolidating. I think. S&P 500 is not doing anything. It's just trading sideways. Popped up in the morning and just started trading sideways. I mean, nothing's really doing anything. The non-farm payrolls report is in the way, and being that next week's a long weekend, could be people on holiday right now. You'll probably see a little action after the non-farm payroll, but tomorrow's going to be a real dead day, I suspect. I don't like saying that because then there's egg on my face. But, hey, I noticed everybody didn't hit their likes. Come on. I'm sitting here coming up with entertaining stuff to talk about. Share the like. Yeah, the market's just dead. I mean, historically, I don't trade the day before the non-farm payroll report because even in the winter and fall, this is what the market looks like. And I don't want to participate in that. Just no movement. I mean, I do my income trades, and this works well for that. But that's about the extent of what I'm taking. And this week, I don't think we made any money this week. You know, 3 weeks we were trading together. I don't think we had a day that wasn't net profitable. And this week, oh, I think I lost 36 cents this week. Hey, thanks for those likes, whoever jumped in and threw me some likes. There's a few more out there. Like it up. And if you got a minute, just take the time to hit that subscribe and hit the bell, because I get knocked offline all the time because I'm off-grid trading. And if you hit the bell, it'll notify you when I get everything back up and running, which usually takes a minute or two. But at least you don't have to keep searching. You just get that notification that I'm up. The bell, the bell, the bell. Keep you in the game. Right here, it looks like AMC might be making a trend reversal. So I would look at it, you know, based on the low here, and now it's making another low, and we're getting a divergence on the momentum. So a good entry would be breaking right here, and you could see if you could ride this thing back up. But again, this isn't moving much either. There's not a lot of momentum in it, so I mean, it's not a trade I would take, but that's a setup I'm looking for. Just the circumstances, the environment is not correct for me. No, can't suck those last 3 likes out of you guys. When I'm calling you. Oh my goodness, is the paint dry yet? Look at this S&P, man. It's like watching paint dry. I mean, the biggest move we had was 8 points. I think I am in the mood to read this weekend. Maybe I'll hide out in front of the air conditioning vent and read all weekend. Which is very funny compared to what my weekends used to entail. Oh, look at that. We got a whole buck going on over here out of the S&P. Oh, that divergence didn't happen. It broke through the low, but look, it's still a divergence on the on AMC. And it looks like it's just going up to test the high. Dun, dun, dun. I don't follow your line of thought there, Wyatt. No, sir. Hmm. So what do we get on this little bust out? Oh, a whole buck. No, I don't use Ninja for the option trades. I just use Ninja for charting. I don't execute through Ninja. I have a couple of different platforms. Super job there, Wyatt. So quiet. Just watching things trade. Everything's doing its own thing. The composite's pulling back a little bit. S&P's up a little. Russell's up a little. Man. I got a few 55 calls, NIO. All right, well, you go. You're a busy character today. Looks like dinner's on Wyatt. I think it was Mr. Millions who got into DI yesterday. If I recall correctly, he's probably up a buck. I don't know if he stuck around on that though. I did mention yesterday today'd be a boring day, right? No, 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 no. We just hanging out today, watching the market grind and grind and grind. Oh, making another double bottom on AMC. I mean, there's really just no momentum in it for a trade. What do I like to read? Usually in industry stuff. Um, then I read a lot of sailing stuff, but now I'm kind of in the head to read in industry stuff. So I'll probably see what's out there. If anybody I respect has written anything new. If not, I'll probably read about boats or sailing or something like that. But I like philosophy. I read all the classics. Really boring. um, and what else? I like philosophy. But I am kind of feeling something a little in industry. Not really much into novels and things like that. I mean, I read the classics because the classics. Ooh, cherries, $2.99 a pound. Yo, you gotta love that, man. That's my favorite fruit, cherries. I mean, as a kid, I used to look forward to the summer because we could have cherries, and we had a big cherry tree on our property in Brooklyn, believe it or not. And my great grandmother used to make. They were sour cherries, though it wasn't like a Bing cherry, and she used to make cherry pie out of it. So I used to bring it to her. Such a good boy. She didn't speak English though, but she could say that. Um, but hey, Bing cherries, $2.99 a pound. I am all over that tomorrow. Years ago, when my kids were young, they were hanging out in front of the house up in the mountains, and I had my whole family up there, and they were hanging out on the top part of the meadow, and there's about 2 acres that's cleared, and they were sitting, and they were kind of still, and a deer was approaching them, and they were cool with it, but my mother got all uptight about it, and started throwing cherries at the deer to chase the deer away. And my girlfriend was like, "Ma, $6.99 a pound? Can't you throw a peach?" See what weird things you find funny. But it was pretty funny. $6.99 a pound. She was upset she was throwing them at the deer. And the deer were just happy to eat them when they hit the ground. NIO and Bingo was his name. Oh, NIO, Dink. Look, this is choppy, so choppy. And then it had a nice hammer. I mean, this is AMC. It's still loading. NIO. There you go. Is that NIO for you? On the 32nd, making a nice bottom. If you were trading this, there's I mean, this would confirm a reversal, but I mean, it's not much of a trend that's reversing. Oh, actually, that's a nice trend to reverse. Yeah, you know, it might be tradable. You know, I mean, really, your target's only 50. You know, like $3, maybe $2. If you were going to trade a reversal, what do you want me to look at on NIO? $100 million volume. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, you know, I don't trade based on that, so it doesn't do anything for me. Oh, look, quite a history. Yeah, I don't get involved with this sort of stuff, man. That's a nice move on the momentum. Scary bar though. Look at all these gaps. A lot of resistance to work through if you're going to play this on the long. So is this another get rich quick situation? It's falling apart on the 30. Yeah, there might be a reversal. A lot of congestion to fight through, and I don't know how the momentum is. I mean, I don't like the 30. It's very negative. Feels like a divergence on the 5. Volume's kind of fading off. Two-minute looks like it could be turning. I would wait for a break of that high to look for it, but yeah, you know, this is all very choppy, so you're going to get a lot of consolidation, you know, a lot of resistance. If it made a nice move straight down and then put in a reversal, it would look good, but you got to fight through all of this if it even turns around. Looks like it's making a new low as we speak. See, that's the problem with trying to trade everything out there. You really don't have a feel for how that particular stock trades. You know, like I have a game plan and you could use it in every market, but you'll increase your probabilities when you become a specialist in a security. You know, so I'm pretty accustomed to the ES. I'm pretty good with Tesla and Amazon too. But I mean, that's the way it's done. You learn the personality of a security, and you know what it should look like when your setups trigger. So you'll know what's a false breakout and what's not. But yeah, if you're all over the board trying to make money on everything out there that hits the news, then I'd say at best you're probably maintaining a break-even portfolio. And I'm talking net, you know. So if you want to be profitable, that means you have more money in your account now than you did the day you started trading. Doesn't mean that you don't get drawdowns in the interim, but net, you're a profitable trader. So what do you guys think about is CB4 Canes here? Sold my 49 Nino calls at 55 and bought puts with my profits. Hot dog. So you and Wyatt can take us to dinner. How are you? So what do you guys think about Bill Cosby being acquitted? Or at least his case overturned. I don't think he was acquitted, but they overturned the ruling. Yeah, I don't think it was public opinion that got him off. I thought the overall consensus was he was guilty and he should pay. Are we making new highs here? Yeah, boy, we're making new highs. Look at that. Go, baby, go. That was a long consolidation. What time is it? So I guess this is the afternoon breakout, which is somewhat muted, but there's 2 points right there. $135. We've only been sitting here like an hour. Feels like a whole day. Well, if we close the market right now, I'd say there's no fear of a reversal. And that kind of changes kind of puts the daily in an uptrend, man. So it's going to take a lot to turn this market around. That momentum is pretty good. That's what I'm looking for. We can remove you. We can remove you. That should get rid of the mess on the bottom. There you go. Happy. I'm happy. Man, look at that baby go. I'll tell you, don't bet against the market in this climate. Oh, really? Did they promise not to charge him? I don't know what the deal was. Oh, and that's what the why they overturned the conviction. Go, Wyatt, go. You're definitely in the right direction. I mean, he's an old man. He doesn't really pose a risk to society, but maybe compensation to his victims as punishment. I mean, obviously, can't undo the hurt. Those babies just moving up now. Yeah, that afternoon breakout actually is a better trade than the morning breakouts. You could capture maybe $2 so far from that breakout on the option. I got a tweet notification that Matt is an advocate for the people because he cited that Robin Hood paid 70 mil to settle, and he tweeted out, "Good." Such insight, quite such depth. So we got the S&P pushing up, but Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon all pushing down. We got energy moving down and financials moving down. So I can't even figure what sector is moving the S&P up. Can't be tech, because NASDAQ would be moving. Got to be healthcare. Yeah, dude. Kane, you should have came in earlier. That's all right. I'm not making any moves today because of the non-farm tomorrow, and you're really not getting anything that I would risk money on. I mean, this right here would have just been $2. And I mean, it's been whippy. You know, it's doing breakouts and then retracing and doing breakouts and retracing. Yeah, consumer discretionaries. Might be, Rabbit. You see, gas prices are climbing, and the gas industry is attributing that to a lack of drivers. So there's a gas crunch at the tanks, at the gas stations. It's funny how these things always happen in correlation with the most busiest season. Did you make 100? Super. 100 a day, boy. Keeps that poverty away. Are you you're trading live or are you trading paper, Mr. Carlton? Oh, no way, Mr. Williams. She concocted that story. Oh, that's oh man, see? That's an indictment on the on humanity, really. I mean, yo, how could you compromise a man's life like that? Just to profit. My word. So was that what influenced the overturn of the conviction? Yeah, it's definitely perjury if she testified to that. Did she take the stand? Although I'm sure she would have sworn an oath in deposition, so that's still perjury. Oh, you're trading live, Colin? Good. Good for you, man. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a big thing. I remember something like that. And then he backpedaled on it, and then they were looking into why he made that promise or what have you. Where did that transpire? In Cali, California? Sounds like something that would happen in New York. Hmm. See, if he wasn't a wealthy man, he wouldn't have had this overturned. They would have been able to take advantage of him and move on. But, he could afford the $500,000 in legal fees, and he could protect his interests and his rights. So justice and good health care are a privilege of the wealthy. Oh, really? Montgomery County, Pennsylvania? Is that where the DA, what's her name? Kane? She she was removed from office and lost her license for perjury. Or maybe she was the Attorney General for Pennsylvania. No, 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 no. Hmm. Oh, I didn't realize he was a Pennsylvanian. I thought he was in the midst of Hollywood. So this was a legitimate afternoon breakout, which is yeah, one of the trades we look for. Um, but I mean, you're just not getting follow through on the moves. I mean, if you want to, scalp for a few bucks, that's fine. It's not really a trade I take, but you could see a test here. I mean, really, you could argue that these are all tests. Here's a double test right here, another test right there, and then the break. So if you were paying attention to trade, you just keep putting these resistance in and look for the afternoon breakout. Then you might have grabbed $2 off of that. May not be done either. I mean, you could have taken your first third off here, gone to a break even, and then just see where this thing runs. Ah, that's funny. Slow and steady. Everything's just creeping around. Now look at that, 53. We kind of talked about that target, I believe, earlier today. Ay. I don't know why I'm fixating on it, but there it is. Close the gap. And look at that. I mean, it broke a trend line, and the move is only 2 points. Just nothing going on in the market anywhere. But the 60 looks like it's starting to drop off again. Might be heading for that 49 gap. Ooh, I'm hot, hot, hot. I should be at the beach with the rest of the industry, as well as my free folk. What other news was there that was of interest today? Oh. That's interesting. White House is having a briefing on the Delta variant of COVID, and they're deploying response teams. That is interesting.
Such an extraordinary amount of data of literally hundreds of millions of doses and a lot of real world effectiveness data as well as safety having been accumulated. So again, although it's understandable how some people will say, well, we really want to wait for the full approval, to have an emergency use authorization and to have this amount of extraordinarily positive data, one would say again, the caveat, you never want to get ahead
Well, it seems like they're just kind of pumping for everybody to take the vaccine. I'm just wondering if they're worried about um, a resurgence of COVID and the chance of a shutdown. That would crush the market.
You're talking about these surge response teams going into states. Is that the next phase of this push? Is it more focused on the states? You talked a lot, your language, you talked about states asking the federal government for help. At this point, is this shifting from cabinet officials barnstorming the country, begging people to get vaccinated to, well, states who figure it
I'm
out?
just lowering the mic a little bit so that I have the briefing in the background. And I don't know what the copyright regulations are about it, so I just turned the mic down a little bit.
Thank you so much for taking my question. Dr. Fauci and folks at Alaska, I want to ask you
So,
about
yeah, it doesn't look like there's any
the
big
Russia
fears of
treatment recently.
another
Is he
shutdown because of
saying
COVID. It just looks like
against
they're trying to promote the idea of people getting vaccinated. And some folks don't want to get vaccinated until it gets the full approval of the FDA. But they're arguing that the data is so extensive that, it's really unlikely that it doesn't get the full approval. So you might as well be proactive. That's probably the biggest issue out there right now about the market or around the market, which nobody's looking at it, but I'd say that's a pretty big risk. If one of these variants takes hold and starts knocking people out, especially after being vaccinated, that would be a terrible situation for the market. I guess for humanity too. But if anybody new has hopped on, because I see the viewer count keeps changing, um, we're just kind of hanging out watching the market. I'm kind of adverse to trading today because we have non-farm payroll report tomorrow, and the market just gets really sloppy and choppy and inconsistent. So I just, I work in probabilities, and probabilities have to all be in my favor for me to trade. Um, but hit the subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like. I get knocked offline because I am off grid. So if you hit the bell, then you'll get a notification when I come back on. If you're into tracking me, and then if you're into tracking me, spread the word. There's a Twitter handle, so you could tweet me. There's There's a PayPal link in the description if you want to support the channel. I wasn't saying anything of consequence. I was just saying that I saw a few more viewers popping on, and just trying to remind them to hit the subscribe and hit the bell, because I get knocked off because I am streaming off-grid. I'm actually on the back of a boat, or in a boat cabin right now. Back of a boat kind of rolls off the tongue better. But if you hit that bell, if I do get knocked off, you'll be notified once I go up, and it's usually like a quick turnaround. And hit the like, because that helps me out a lot. You can spread the word by retweeting me. My Twitter handle is in the description. And you could support the channel through PayPal if you have an interest. The link is in the description. And check out my other videos. I have training videos, crude but informative, and we'll have more to come. And thank you, Miss Kerry. With all the help of my free folk out there, we got to keep it growing. We did very well in the first 3 weeks. I mean, picking up 350 subscribers. You know, it died off a little bit right now, but that's all right. We'll gain the momentum again. Just keep getting the word out there. Build a nation. But hey, I'll tell you what, we had plenty of people to talk to today. We had some action. Ripped right through that morning. Just kind of died off after the morning. But we had a lot to talk about. Well, that's funny. We were talking about EVs, and Porsche is out there saying that it's going to ramp up its EV production and roadmap. Oh no, Pelosi's at it again. She's probing the pro-Trump. I like the way they call it, the pro-Trump riot. And they got Liz Cheney, not too biased. Art Cashian. See, now, has anybody listened to an interview with that guy? I mean, I remember that guy when I first came into the industry, but that guy was the type of guy that was in the industry. I mean, sounds very, very New York, very street. I mean, I don't know what his education background is, but a lot of the guys were just straight off the street, not even, college educated. And that's what it was about, and a load of drinkers. And it was comical. I mean, it was really comical. I remember they were interviewing him once, and they're like, "So what are you doing?" And it was summertime, and they said, "What are you doing this weekend?" He said, "All I know is the ice doesn't stand a chance." So in essence, he was spending the weekend drinking. Now I guess alcoholics will be offended, or recovering alcoholics will be offended. GM already announced the second quarter. Sales are up 40%. Yeah, we're getting into earnings season. Well, you know what? I don't know whether socialist or not, but yeah, I think she's very dangerous because she doesn't have the country's best interest in mind. I mean, she has to prove a point, and she has the party's best interest in mind, and it's counterproductive. She wasted a lot of money going after Trump. Yeah, without speaking to the merits of the case, one way or the other. But the reality was that everybody knew that he would not be impeached. And it was obvious and logical. It had nothing to do with guilt or innocence or what have you. It's just, I mean, the Republicans were in control. That was the bottom line. They weren't going to impeach the guy. So the money she spent is just ridiculous. I mean, we could have done so much more. And then the distraction from what was important. Nobody made good use of the president. And I don't care who the president is, there's always something good that can be done with the guy. But they just focus on the negative and hammer him. And the reality is that even if he did 8 years, what you don't like at the end of that 8 years, you get to change the following 8 years. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the immigration policy and everything like that. But hey, I'll bite that bullet because I did like what he did with the trade tariffs and things like that. And I think he was strong enough to deal with China. And while they were calling him a nationalist and a racist over China, China's building this arsenal, an economic arsenal, to overthrow our country, or at least the Western cultures. So, I mean, we're in a terrible position now because we didn't support our president. And, no matter what his tact is, if he's tactless or what have you, that's fine. Everybody didn't have to like us. The world didn't have to like us. And we could have put somebody in place after that term to smooth over the rough spots. But, they don't think like that. And it goes back and forth. I mean, it goes back and forth. The Republicans are not going to move in the country's best interest now because we have a Democratic president. Or at least these are my views. So, I mean, yeah, but, she's a mess. She's a mess. And I think she puts an ugly, ugly face on the Democratic Party and promotes an ugly culture in the Democratic Party. I mean, just a lot of waste of money, man. Just a lot of waste of money just to make the guy look bad. And it's not a political environment where, it's like we could do better than he is. It's a political environment where we're not as bad as he is. I mean, who wants that? And now she's at it again, spending more tax dollars on shit that we're already past. Yo, you know what? They're going after the people that rioted. That's it. It's that simple. I don't care. Yo, the guy had half the country vote for him. Half the country did not show up and storm the Capitol. Stupid people showed up and stormed the Capitol. And you got stupid people on both sides. And stupid people should pay the price. We just keep making excuses for our stupidity or our stupid individuals. I know I shouldn't get political, huh? I'll lose subscribers, but I'm really. I mean, I'm not political in the aspect of being one side or another. I don't like politicians. That was really the main attraction that Trump held for me, was he's not a traditional politician. I mean, I definitely don't want him dating my daughter, and I certainly wouldn't want to go to dinner with the guy, but he's not a politician, and you know what? That speaks volumes as far as a candidate goes for me. And if they were open to somebody on the Democratic side that was outside of the normal political circles, I'd be in favor of that dude too. I don't care what party they represent. Yes, please don't get political. Actually, I'm going to heed that advice. Yep. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? It wasn't a paid position. It was never established as a paid position. It was a voluntary position, and then they turned it into a paid position. And then they keep giving themselves raises. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see that we're geared for a path forward. I mean, I like that Biden wants to put money into R&D and infrastructure too. I think we really need that. And now is definitely a time to spend. I mean, we're way behind, and it's definitely time to spend, but not spend it on foolish impeachments and all these witch hunts and trying to cut everybody's throat. You see a problem, tie the guy's hands. Keep him from doing. I mean, she was screaming about he has control of nuclear weapons, and I mean the rhetoric that she was just spewing. It's ridiculous, and the problem is that so many people eat that stuff up. It's unbelievable. The fear porn that she was pumping, it was just. It's atrocious. It's atrocious what our political system has come to. And he was good for business. I mean, nobody wanted to come out and say that because they're in business. They don't want to get political. They don't want to lose their customer base or their market or get labeled anything. So everybody kept their mouth shut. But the corporate circles, they were all about it. They were like, you know what? It's going to be a business friendly environment if the guy takes office. All right, no subscribers clicking off. View count is not dropping. It just breaks my heart. It could be a great country. It could be a great, great country. And again, I got to drop back to it falls on education. We need one cat to get in there and make education at university level free. And it's going to change everything in this country, man. And I think that's why they don't do it. They have a fear. It's easy to control the ignorant. I mean, it's easy to be a leader of ignorant people, but try to be a leader of scholars, right? You have to be a pretty sharp cat to be able to lead a country of scholars, and you know, they don't want that. I mean, I really think that's one quick fix. Yeah, your Vietnamese friends, right? And Mr. Racist. Um, Yep. Yeah, exactly, Ben. Yeah, the social media is terrible. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the interesting thing about this is, I mean, this guy has been around since the late 70s. I mean, you know, you could see video of him at the Playboy Club. And, I mean, you never heard any stories um, about him as a racist or a misogynist. I mean, okay, he might be a perv, and you know, he's a guy, but you know what? Hey, so is Bill Clinton, right? It kind of goes hand in hand with power, and you know, I'm not saying it's right, but you know, we're animals. I mean, you know, we're just animals, and all of a sudden, once he starts running for office, he's this incredible, you know, animal that can't be trusted. This you know, this predator that can't be trusted. You know, but what happened for all these years, and even now, New York is just still going after him. I mean, it's a big Democratic state, and you know, the politicians there are just ridiculous right now, and they're just still going after him, trying to incriminate him on something to keep him from running again, really. So removing the choice of half the country, or even, you know, if it's a quarter of the country, deciding on who you get to choose to be your president. That's what they're attempting to do, in my opinion. And it's interesting because in the late 90s, they actually turned to the guy to help rebuild the city after a recession. Manhattan was really hurting. I mean, buildings were empty everywhere, and he just went in and he renovated a ton of buildings. I mean, he obviously made a fortune from doing it, but he renovated a ton of buildings, created programs where small business could go in there and take office space for like 6 months, no rent. Or I had a situation, because I actually moved my firm into the city around that time, where I got an apartment to live in while I for a year while I built my company there in the city. If I took an office space in the city, they gave me an apartment along with it. And that was one of his programs. So he did a lot, and Giuliani too. And they just suspended Giuliani's license to practice, and Giuliani actually cleaned up Times Square, cleaned up the city, and made it really productive. I mean, there was a time you couldn't walk through Times Square, man. I mean, there was pawn shops everywhere, hookers everywhere, and if you didn't get pickpocketed, you got physically mugged. And I mean, within a year of that dude getting in there, he cleaned it up. And then prior to that, when he was the Attorney General of New York, I mean, the construction industry was mafia run, and there wasn't a building that didn't get built without a kickback. And he went in there and cleaned all that up, you know, just cleaned it all up and made it affordable and safe for people to operate. I mean, I'm sure there's still shenanigans that go on, but it's not what it was in the 80s. You know, this is what Giuliani did for New York. You know, these two substantial situations. And now they're just crushing this guy. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Oh, my count went up. So anyway, I mean, I just hate seeing all this. I wish everybody would just, you know, be logical, or again, just educate everybody. You know, educate them. Let's raise the bar on our society. But we placate to the weak. I mean, that's what we do. People are crying, their feelings are hurt, they don't like the names they're being called. So, you know, we outlaw that. We go after comedians for making jokes, you know. You know, everybody's got to be politically correct. It's so ridiculous. Now you get to choose your pronoun. I mean, I just have to laugh at it. I just have to laugh. I mean, I believe everybody should live how they want to live, and they should get, have the right to do that. But I mean, why do they have to involve everybody? You know what I mean? I mean, why does it have to be a law that I have to like your lifestyle? I mean, this is America. I mean, I don't advocate Nazis and anti-Semitic activity, but you know what? Everybody has a right to think what they want to think. They just can't act on it. So you have a right to think what you want to think, no matter how ugly or stupid it is, as long as you're not inhibiting somebody else's rights. Oh yeah, this is dangerous territory. Slippery slope. Slippery, slippery slope. I actually used to have people around me when I was at the firm that kind of monitored my banter because I would, I would pontificate quite often. So they'd give me a sign like, "Whoa, reel it in," or stuff like that. Um, I choose to be a couch potato. Pronoun is chips. Very cool. By the way, poor people already get free community college. It's called the Pell Grant. I got 2 AS degrees over 4 years, all paid for by Pell. Cool. Is that available? Is that like a federal program? And okay, so it's a grant. And what is the criteria really? I mean, I use my Pell money. Oh, that's funny. So okay, so obviously it's available in the cities. I wasn't aware of it, but I mean, I do know that New York has done something. I mean, that's the only thing I like about Cuomo that he's done. Pell is federal, and does it? I mean, you get a free ride, or it helps with the cost. Hmm. So how do you handle the inner city kid whose mother's a prostitute, but wants to get out of that circle? You know. Just free education, man. That's it. Just make it free. State run schools or what have you. I mean, you could have private education, but I think there needs to be free. I mean, you know what? It's done all over the world. You have better educated people. You know, in Europe and the like. And I'm not saying that it's going to change poor communities overnight, but it's going to thin out that culture, that ignorant culture, over time. And yeah, that's all we need to do. There's always going to be people who fight against us, the system, or who are angry or ignorant or rebellious. But let's just make that a smaller and smaller part of our community. And the only way to do that is just education. Let people go help themselves. It's a dollar amount, but covers community college. No, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that's out there. And then you're just getting your associates, right? Yeah. Through a community school, you can get your bachelor's. I thought community schools were only 2 year, and 2 year degrees and associates. Will it dip again? Yeah, man, it'll dip again. At least in our lifetime. Do you have a time frame or? Hmm. Very interesting. So we got a strong 60. Really strong bar. People are going to want to participate in that, and it's moving up. And that 60 just rolled. So you just got to look for the divergence, Wyatt. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything that's telling me it's going to dip yet. I don't see a double top or anything like that. It's a nice move, though, from that breakout. I mean, this is where you could have traded that breakout on the 30-minute and then just trailed your stops. So you got 5 points. So you're still looking at 2.5 point move. But the 30-minute momentum is still very, very positive, or very bullish, shall we say. You got a divergence on the 5, which is interesting. But I would look for a double top. You could get a late day snapback. It's not uncommon. But right now, my bias would be bullish for the day. That 30-minute doesn't look like it's turning around. That 30-second, rather. And, that's where I would trade. The 1 minute is still very bullish. The 2 minute looks bullish. Yeah, you think there's a correlation that when AMC goes down, SPY goes up? Um, so on the 60-minute, I mean, the 60-minute momentum is starting to look bearish. And it's pushing down. The next support is right here. I think, I guess it's a long way, but I think we're heading for 49.52. If not today, in the next few days. I mean, the daily momentum is just really, really bearish and doesn't give me any indication that it's turning around. So, I mean, as far as an entry point, I don't see any place that I would enter this security right now. You have a resistance up here at 6107, and I mean, there was a trend line that was making a pennant, but it looks like we broke that, and that's probably what the move is now. Break of that trend line, and then your next support, I would argue, would be right about here. And really in this range. So breaking this, then you're looking to close that gap at 49.44. But yet, you know, this is just a consolidation pattern, really. I mean, you can argue that you're just in consolidation until you get out of this range right here. So the 51 to 65, I mean, it could dance around in here for God knows how long. I mean, breaking that, then it should start making a move. And it could really come down, test this, and then turn around, and the play could start there. I mean, as far as entry, I wouldn't enter it. I don't trade inside consolidations. I would wait for a breakout. And I would wait for a breakout based on momentum, you know. As far as investing, really nothing to invest in here. Trying to make 30 an hour trading, good. How's that working out? Hitting your goals? So how does day trading AMC help the community, the AMC community? Coming into that 3 o'clock hour where things get whippy. So I just want to remind you guys to hit the subscribe and hit the bell. This way, if I get knocked out, you get a notification that I came back up online. If you like what we're doing, hit the like, and you could spread the word with my Twitter handle in description. Just saw Apple and Microsoft go positive, but just pennies. Strongest market of the day was the S&P, and it just kind of ground its way up there today. It's kind of a big double top. A little too much room for me to call that a double top. Is a divergence though. We got an afternoon breakout, but it's only a 6-point move. Not really the trade I'm looking for. And you can see runs up, cuts the move in half, takes off again, cuts it in half. might look for that double top on the 1 minute. So the conservative entry would be around 316. It's already eaten up 2 points. Trading. Nice. So frustrating. So what does everybody want to talk about? What do we talk about? Choppy nature of the market. Oh, look, it made a double top with a divergence. It's pushing its way back up. And the momentum is fading off. That's just the result of light volume. I bet if we took a look at Amazon, it's all choppy. And there you go. Resilient as a son of a gun. Hmm. 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 So when the market keeps moving up like this, this aggressively, just makes me nervous. Um, because you just become more vulnerable to bad news. You know, so you kind of look at how well the market can handle a hit. Obviously, on your longer term positions. And a move like this without a retrace makes it very vulnerable. So anyway, that's why I was quiet. I was just kind of looking at a few things to see if I wanted to get defensive on positions. So what's going on? Been rather quiet from the free folk over there. Everybody thinking about their 4th of July weekend?